The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Natalie, did you pick your children's names yet throughout your life? What they would be?
Wasn't necessary.
No, but you
I would
always
think-
chuck a few on the bag. On the one.
Well, I mean, I peaked with Cindy for my pony, so
Cindy's dead,
Cindy and
so thanks for bringing it
Lewis.
up.
Lewis was a good name.
Yeah. So Cindy and Lewis. So they would have been your daughter and your son.
Wouldn't have ruled it out, I suppose.
Yeah.
Cindy and Lewis,
Sean,
okay.
have you gone through all the names that you wanted? Were they the ones?
I think that we nailed the ones we wanted at the time, yeah.
Yeah. In my mind, if I had a son, he was going to be called Brannigan.
Brannigan?
Brannigan, because it lent itself, I thought, to be a spy.
After Laura Branigan, the singer.
Who's Laura Brannigan?
She was the singer.
What does she sing?
It sounds
Quite
like a
a
last
famous
name, by
song.
the way.
What's that?
It sounds like a last
Yeah.
name, not a
I
first
don't
name.
mind last names as first names.
Okay,
I
MacGyver.
I like that. Well, here's the deal. We were looking at some athletes the other day when Caitlin Bassett was in. Mm-hmm. She was showing us some photos of them. Who were they?
We were talking about Harry Potter, the Western Force.
There's a guy named Harry Potter in the Western Force.
Yeah.
His name is now banned.
What do you mean?
In Australia,
news for him.
you are no longer allowed to name a baby Harry Potter. Now, I'm not sure if it's like you're having another kid, Sean,
Yep.
and you're going to call it Harry Potter McManus.
Okay.
Or if it's just, or if it goes as far as anyone that has the last name Potter is no longer allowed to call their baby Harry.
That seems wrong.
Or,
Like, it's not offensive.
It's
Do you know
not
what I mean?
offensive.
Why can't you call your kid Harry
why
Potter?
does it? Why? And say if it isn't your last name Potter and he's going to be Harry Potter McManus, that's got nothing to do with anyone.
And also, nobody uses your middle name.
Yeah.
Like, unless, are they saying Harry Potter all one word?
I don't know. It says it had two words, Harry Potter. So I can't foresee a world where every Potter family in the world is no longer named.
Because Harry's a very common name.
Because then where do you stop?
Hundreds of Harrys.
Lily, James, his mum and dad. Like, where do you stop, Sean?
Where-
Beatrix.
Laurie.
I didn't know there was a.
Laurie.
I didn't know there was a body that
Potter.
could outlaw names. I never heard of it.
The Australian names, please.
And they're a standard. So, like,
Full on.
you know how Elon Musk named one of his kids something
Yeah, all the editors
unpronounceable?
and stuff.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that here.
Okay.
We have
Well, that makes
there are
sense.
limits
Okay.
about that kind of thing.
If you're in the name police, do you get a uniform and do you get a car to drive around?
Yeah, it's got a
Yes,
siren on
Sean.
top,
Yes,
flashing blue
and,
light.
and you get a name badge.
Laura,
And your name?
Laura
Very
Branigan sang Gloria, Nathan.
Gloria,
There you
Gloria,
go.
I think you got my number.
That's the one.
Gloria. What's the next bit?
I don't know.
No one does.
No, exactly.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We're joined in the studio by, I love saying this,
I know, it's the
award-winning comedian because she picked up the award for the best WA-based comedy show at Fringe World, which is highly competitive. Nikki Justice, welcome.
Nikki.
Nikki Justice. One of the best names ever.
That's a great
Straight
name.
away, it's like Stan Lee created you and put you in the comics. Is it real? Is it Nikki Justice actually your name?
Yeah, so my Justice was it's my mum's maiden name. So I took it on after I got divorced. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't want my ex-husband's name.
Yeah.
So why is that? So I mean, that's great because when you break up a fight, you're justice of the peace. Which
Yeah.
is great. Yeah. So get back into your partner. Why'd you break up?
Well, if you want a clue, her show's called 1.5 Weddings and a Funeral, and it does go into a fair bit of stuff. I've seen Nikki's show, and it's an absolute corker. For somebody, first solo show, wins the award. It's amazing, Nikki.
Thank you.
but a lot of
But you
pressure,
had a
though.
lot of base material.
Yeah, I definitely had a well to draw from, a lot of story, and I'm a chronic oversharer, so it's all based in truth, and I just laugh about it.
Yeah, for everybody out there, your ex-husband was a coffin cheater, so you're in the bikies realm, is that correct?
Yes.
You're a tattoo artist?
Yes.
You're
Done
in the
it-
circus.
Yes.
Was I right to say? Is it right to say the ladies of bikies were they referred to as onions? Is that a thing?
Jesus. Well, okay, some people might, but that's quite offensive, Nathan.
I don't know what it means.
No. So an onion is, oh gosh,
I don't know what it
an
means.
onion doesn't usually refer to the wives and girlfriends. It's usually
Another girl.
A more casual affair.
it's the ones with lots of layers.
Oh, so they're an onion.
Yeah.
That'd
There
be
you
pickled,
go.
wouldn't they?
There you go.
They call someone who sleeps around a club an onion.
Onion. Wow, Sean.
Have you put this into your show at all and just
I
broke
Better
it
whack
down?
the onion in there.
Nathan's
Okay.
giving you material.
Oh, he is. Thank you. That's a good idea. Because have you ever heard of onion before?
I've heard Nathan use the term before.
Yeah, and I didn't
But
know
I
if it was
haven't
real or
hung
not.
out.
Normally
with a lot
he
of
says
bikies.
onion.
They do refer to some women as onions, but it's not the wag.
Well, I just say I've met some lovely onions over the years.
It's not
I really have.
complimentary.
They all make you
The
cry,
spring
though.
onions, they look lovely
Eventually.
and floral.
Hey, Nikki, so how did you get into comedy, though? We just talked about a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
How did that morph into comedy?
It sort of happened by accident after COVID. Well, not accident, but so COVID happened. I was posting funny stuff on my stories, and there was a comedian in Perth who followed me and wrote #comedian on one of my things. And I'd been watched a few comedy shows. So the seed had been planted, and then as soon as someone called me a comedian. But it kind of, even after that, it was the jokes just sort of, my first jokes just came to me. I was just doing my makeup in the mirror one day, and I started making myself giggle at my thought process. And then I was like, this is a bit of a joke. And so I just decided to give it a go, and I did an open mic a week later.
No way, you just wrote it down, and then did you Google how to be a stand-up comic?
I probably did. My first set was so cringe. I did a parody song for 3 minutes, which is far too long.
That is way too long.
But we get it. When we first started radio,
long.
once we got on something good, we thought we'd do the whole show.
I actually just sent it to a comedy friend of mine recently because he was like, oh, you got to show me. So I dug up this video, and he said, Nikki, I'm saying this as a friend. Never show that to anyone else.
Can we see it? Is it online?
I have archived it. It's really embarrassing.
Okay, we'll see it.
Well, you got to start somewhere, basically.
It got me my start,
Yes.
and it's still. To be fair, I had a lot of friends in the audience, so that was probably why it went as well as it did. But it went well, and I kept going. So, and I stopped singing. So,
Hey, Nikki, I was reading a story that you put out about how you contacted a few media outlets to see if you can drum up some
PR for your show.
for yourself.
Yes.
Daily Mail. It didn't go well with them.
No.
But they're really fair.
They're so lovely. I don't know how I got done like that. No, so what happened was, obviously I've already got all these cool stories. I didn't think we really needed to sensationalise anything because I thought I had enough.
It's sensational already.
And the reporter was just really going, I think we're going to hone in on this bad mum angle. So she was just asking me all these extra questions because I've got a show called Bad Mums as well.
Yeah.
So she was asking me all these things, and she was giving me hypotheticals, or has this ever happened? And I kind of I can see now how I've walked into it, but it's then it's wasn't what I said, and it was her sort of words in my mouth, but I've kind of agreed to it because it was really sneakily
What was the
done.
words?
sneakily.
Can you let me know?
Well, it sort of made it about jealous school mums and sleazy dads at the school gate, and that was never my story. That was quite embarrassing, and the comments on it were not very nice.
And not just that, anyone can say anything in the interview, and if the journalist doesn't introduce what the tone was, words don't have tone.
Yeah.
So
No, they don't have
care.
time, but they also only use bits and pieces.
of course.
Married
It was
at first
also
sight.
just
100%.
really poorly written as well. So I found that embarrassing because it looks like I wrote it. And I was like, I can write far more eloquently than that. And I felt like she on purposely made it sound dumber because I was an ex-stripper. I'm like, you've dumbed this down, you bitch.
She's got stripper. S-T-R-I-P-P-A.
How do you spell it? Hey, Nikki, Nathan mentioned about your tattoos when you come in because you've got one on your throat.
A butterfly.
A butterfly. It seems that's a commitment.
Yeah, look, it's a commitment, but I'm not one to really think things through that well, so I didn't put much thought into it, and I do regret it.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, would
Would
you
you get
change
it
it for
removed?
another insect, or would you rather have
I'm
it
actually
not there
thinking
at
about
all?
getting lasered, and I think if I go through the effort of getting it lasered, I'm not going to put anything else
Do
in.
they come out completely fresh skin lasered? Or is it a hint of something there?
Well, I haven't had it done yet before, but I've seen people get it done. I think it would improve because you get that laser skin rejuvenation.
Yes.
So I would imagine surely it's doing something.
Because when you get older, of course, everyone ages, and a lot of people age in their necks. So what's that going to turn into if you don't do it now? You know what I mean?
Butterfly with more reverse.
An old butterfly.
I know, yes, exactly. Now, also, you have worked as a tattoo artist.
Yes.
Tell everybody about your podcast, the premise for your podcast.
So I interview other comedians mostly and tattoo them as well.
Right.
And there's been some fun tattoos. Some people come on and they just want something cute. I mean, it is something that they've got on them forever.
Yes.
And then other people have a bit of a laugh. So
Now, you can currently, I think for about maybe $80, even cheaper, buy a complete tattoo gun set up on Temu, which many people have been doing.
yes.
And then they get it home and they just start doing some tattoos. What's your advice to those people?
Don't do that. You'll end up with a whole bunch of crap tattoos and possibly an infection.
We were with a bunch of
Exactly.
military people. We won't say where at the certain time. But remember, those guys were saying, so and so's bought a tattoo gun, and then every Friday night they get blind, and then one of them wakes up with a new tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, I did it as well before.
Margot Robbie
became
does
a
it as
federal.
well.
Margot Robbie does it as well. Yeah.
And Nikki, are you joining forces with Natalie Locke this weekend?
We
Nikki
are.
has invited me to be a very small part of her bigger show.
Yes, I have. So I'm having a gala, a Mother's Day gala for our show Bad Mums.
And you wanted an onion there, didn't you?
It's great. It's a great lineup. You've got
Nat's our honorary mum, and she's
Yes.
a dog mum.
Yes.
And everyone has a mum.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun show, and we've got a little surprise at the end as well. So it's going to be. I'm looking
How's
forward
your
to
mum
it.
with your colourful life?
My mum's more colourful than I am.
Really? What do you mean?
when you see Nikki's show, you'll
Yeah,
get a bit of an
come and see the show.
understanding.
Okay, so you didn't get the mum.
No.
No. You got the mum with extras.
Yeah, no, you nailed it.
And same with Dad.
Yeah.
So, and you are doing 1.5 Weddings and a Funeral as part of the Perth Comedy Festival as well. So you've got 2 shows across the weekend.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday. I don't even know what time they are. Oh my gosh.
Saturday at 6, Sunday at 5. It's all happening at the Rechabite. Details at perthcomedyfestival.com.au, and that's where you can get tickets to the Bad Mums. Although that's close to selling out. Isn't it?
Bad Mums is close to selling out, and there's still plenty to 1.5 Weddings and a Funeral. So come have a listen about Mum and
You
Dad.
could double up.
So
Just quietly.
I'm guessing a lot of ex stuff in there, like I bet your ex.
My
sometimes.
ex-husband does feature in there.
Do you have to run that by him, or what's the deal?
At the beginning, I didn't. We didn't. So when I first started comedy, we weren't getting along, and I was using comedy. I was absolutely using comedy as therapy.
I mean,
And
almost
so-
every comedian is.
So he didn't approve of the jokes at first, and I didn't care. But then we started getting along, so then I did run them by him, and
And then he got them. Yeah, it's about intent, isn't it?
He knows what I say, and he's okay with it.
Has he ever been in the crowd and you've gone, that's him?
He came to my very first solo when I did the trial. Him and his partner, who also
Wow.
gets a mention in my joke.
Oh, Nikki.
Oh, it's great. You're gonna love
Did you
it.
point out their hair?
Pardon?
Did you point out their hair that night?
Yes, I did. I had a lot of fun with it.
That's too good. It's too
You got
good.
no choice but to laugh when you're in that
And I
situation.
never go with a comedian or a songwriter.
Yeah.
You got to feature
Exactly.
heavily.
I'll get you.
Nikki's going places too. Like, she's a big deal. Winning that award was incredible.
Oh,
For a
thanks.
first solo show, it's almost unheard of.
Don't forget us when you're doing a Netflix
Exactly.
special.
That's what I was going to say. Exactly. So
Oh, thanks,
go and see her now, and then you can say, I knew her before she was famous, but she's awesome. Nikki Justice, the show's called 1.5 Weddings and a Funeral. Check it out at the Rechabite this weekend.
At a half price tickets to anyone that rocks up with an onion.
PerthComedyFestival.com.au.
Red or white,
Thank you,
brown.
Nikki.
Thank
I'll see
you.
you
Thank
Sunday
you.
night.
Yeah,
It's going to be
thank you.
great.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We were congratulating Sam Kerr and her partner about having a beautiful baby Jago, and that's like their first Mother's Day is going
Yes.
to be happening. And
That's very
Timing.
exciting, though.
That's the way to do it, is
Yeah.
right before Mother's Day, so that then you capitalise on the present.
Oh, you do, don't
I
you?
do wonder.
You're
I
in.
do wonder with same-sex couples, with this lovely lesbian couple, who gets the breakfast in bed?
Well, the kid has to make it for them, so
That's tough.
It's
That's
going to be tough.
I would
Yeah,
think
man.
that it would be Sam's partner.
So it would be the person
Christine?
that carried the baby, but they're both mothers, though.
They are both mothers.
And
but
it's
she's-
Mother's Day, it's not about who
because it's
birthed
just
the
so
baby
fresh,
day.
She's birthed the baby.
No, but it's not about birthing baby's day. It's not about the vessel.
Well,
it's
it's
about
Mother's
it's about
Day.
being the mother, and that's when the
Well,
baby's
each their
out.
own,
then
but
you're the
I
mother.
think that you'd go above and beyond.
What would you say now? Would it be both?
I think they'll figure it out. I mean, I guess one could get up, make some toast, and then
Oh, and the other one can get up and do the
yeah.
cereal. Like, so you can basically do a round each. That's what I would do. Yeah.
What do you, Mother's Day this weekend? I mean, you don't.
I get off lightly because, of course, my mum lives, 700 k's away. So FaceTime on Sunday night.
And then another goes, did you get the present? Oh, it must have got lost.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be in the
tracking's
post
weird.
office box. Yeah, for sure. So, I'll just FaceTime mum on Sunday night. But obviously you've got to sort out Sue and you've got to sort out
Mum.
Megan.
And I know that Mum at this point in time is getting pulled in different directions because normally in Mum's perfect world we would see her on Sunday. But
course.
I've got 5 kids in my family. Everyone's got a wife. I've
Yes.
got 4 brothers anyway. So
And junior sport and all
junior
the rest
sport
of it.
on. So I
practicing.
know that there's one of my sister-in-laws wants to take out my mum for brunch, and then someone wants to do lunch, and
she's like, I
don't
can't
know.
have 8 meals a day.
Yeah, I don't know
about
what
your
it
mum.
is,
Your
but
mum, your mum needed to have one loser boy that had no prospects about getting a wife, and then they're there with the mum all the time, helping her with the, doing the sandwiches.
I probably filled the mould for some of that. But the main thing is I've got to do something for Megan.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because she's
yeah, but like
the
Megan-
star of the day.
But
Have
Megan-
you sorted it?
Like Megan candles straight away, but if you go
No, Cooper
candles,
got us something the other day, and I did flick him some money. I can't even remember. I didn't even ask what it was for.
What about she's gardening?
hours.
She's gardening a lot, isn't
48
she?
hours.
Isn't she? Gardening
Yes.
a lot. What about like a lovely
No, Nathan, I don't want her gardening anymore. I'm not buying
He doesn't want to
anything
encourage it.
encourage that.
You're not enabling that.
But the gardening's outside of the house, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's too much.
It's too much?
Too much.
What do you mean? Why is it too much?
Oh, I could go on
'Cause she's-
forever, and I'm just worried.
Are you talking
Because
about
Nathan,
what
like you,
fertilize money?
she's obsessive about
pot
it.
money.
Yes.
Always replacing a plant.
I don't want to talk too much.
Okay.
Very diplomatic and careful. Marlene, what's
Love you,
Marlene
Megan.
getting?
I don't know. I've got a real issue with Mum. Years ago, I blew her socks off. It was an Oprah moment. It was when Rihanna bought her mum a house. Remember that?
Sure.
And I bought my mum's house was a robotic vacuum cleaner. I got her from Harvey and Norman. She didn't even get outside of Harvey and Norman until she burst into tears because no one's ever done anything more beautiful.
Nathan, there was an article online just a couple of days ago, and it was about robotic vacuum cleaners and them as a present. And the only thing I can think of is your mum. What a moment in time.
Well, because there were cheaper ones there, and I said, no, let's get the top one. And the top one at that time was the LG one. It was about $800, and Mum was just like, oh my God, she was just like, it was too much. It broke her brain. And maybe that's why it's never even moved an inch forward. It sits underneath the.
So she's taken it out of the box?
Yeah, it's out of the box. It's plugged in.
That's one up on most of the
Plugged in.
things you
Out of the
buy.
box, plugged in. It's underneath the wall head. You know those old rock wall headers of the 60s. It's underneath that, and it has never moved 1 second forward. And now it's covered in dust. So I'm thinking maybe I'll get her a vacuum cleaner for her vacuum cleaner.
Sounds great. Sounds like a plan.
Clean it up.
totally get it.
Yeah. He's off to which high quality Dyson product you're going to buy next.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
John, you had been up all night watching the Vatican chimney.
Couldn't believe it. I thought I was in for a long weekend ahead of me.
Yeah.
It's going to be black smoke every day, well, maybe a couple of times
Yeah.
a day, and maybe sometime at the end of next week we'll come to a decision where we've found
And lo and
the new
behold,
man.
we got the express version.
I know.
A new Pope.
The
popped
white
up
smoke
overnight.
came out, and we now have
Pope
Pope
Leo.
Leo.
The 14th.
And we will follow. I will follow him.
He was a bit of a bolter, though. Nobody expected this guy. He wasn't on any of the lists that anybody talked about.
In fact, we checked out the market earlier
Yeah.
on from
What
the
was he
Pope's-
paying?
Oh, he was double figures. He was right out the gate.
Yeah, the Vatican put all their money on it.
I know. This is why the Catholic Church is
Isn't that
so
right?
wealthy.
That's how they should make their money.
They've got a lot already.
I know,
Didn't see
but
it coming.
having double that of a lot is heaps more.
Oh, that is heaps more.
My thing about it is, I'm all for a new pope. I'm excited. Sometimes, there was a year, Natalie, I would love the black pope. I was all for that. I had my two favourites in this one.
Well, the Filipino was the front runner,
Yeah.
Filipino
Yes.
Pope.
I do have an
Cardinal
issue.
still,
I don't have an issue with his people. I don't have an issue with the country. I have an issue with him being this. He's born in the USA.
I totally understand. I think everyone understands.
I just
though.
think at the moment
And
with
it's
Donald Trump and all the American stuff that's
Of
coming,
course it is.
why do we have not an American Pope too?
I know.
Donald Trump is
It's
going to
too
be so
much.
like, it's a Pope.
Well, no, of course he's going to. He's the head
Of
of
course
state,
he would.
but
As he would.
He has tainted everything that's
Yes, that's
associated
true.
with the US.
Yeah. First
No,
American
mate.
Pope ever is from Chicago,
He's
so
from
obviously a
American
Bulls
Bulls fan. Bulls
He
fan.
hasn't
Loves Giddy.
spoken. He
Loves
hasn't
Giddy.
spoken with his American accent yet officially. He's
Yes,
He's done Spanish and what was it? All?
Italian.
Italian.
Yes.
Yeah, and he hasn't spoken. So as long as he keeps that under wraps.
Yes, because he did missionary work in Peru and that sort of thing, but he's only been a cardinal since 2023.
20 and that's
he's
my
the new
problem.
cardinal on the block.
That's my problem with that.
He is,
You
but
have not
no.
been cardinaling
Yeah.
long enough. I think you need to cardinal for 10 years at least.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but when you get someone who does their job really well and you just know where they're going to, like our boss Dave,
yes.
we just knew within inside a short
Dave's
amount of
been-
time.
come on, mate.
I kissed his ass enough that he would go straight to the top
This
of
is
the
the
pot.
thing, though. But then we've got those other places, right? Because this guy's apparently very quiet. Didn't really make a stir.
He's middle of the road.
So you've got this person that comes into your office, right? And they're new, and they haven't really made a stir. No one's really made too much of a friend. And they're just there. Then they become your supervisor after 3 weeks. Come on, mate. Do you like them? No.
You don't know them.
Nor do you like them, because that was your position. You had your hat in the ring for
Yes.
it, Sean. You've been cardinaling.
Whatever happened
for
to
12
seniority?
years. For 20 years you've been cardinaling.
Cardinaling. Yeah.
Cardinaling.
Yes.
In a cardigan.
Cardiganing. Yeah, and then like you would have
You'd
some,
be a little bit flat.
a little bit
But it's okay because you just, the good Lord will, you know.
It was God's decision ultimately.
That's right.
'Cause
So
he
what do you
made the
do,
vote
mate?
happen
It
that
was
way.
filled- the holiness.
God's
You feel the
decision.
holiness.
So if it's God's decision and he speaks to all these cardinals, wouldn't they all have the same answer?
Yeah, but he likes to build the drama.
Wouldn't they?
God does.
Oh, right, so it's like, trick you.
Yeah.
We'll be back up for the
Like, you're
outbreak.
placebo, you're real. You're placebo, you're real.
God is Eddie McGuire, so he's
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, you were on it, mate.
Yeah.
I think God would more be Ryan Seacrest than Eddie McGuire.
Sure.
Seacrest out.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a good moment for the Catholics around the world.
Big
And
day
by the way,
celebration.
I see it in a different way, obviously, being hardcore Catholic, as you know.
Famously.
When you have a pope in position, it's good for the world. They're like the Dalai Lama.
What do you mean?
As a head
We
of a
haven't-
moment.
we haven't had the
Because
world without
they've
one. We
always
don't know.
They've always got something nice to say.
haven't-
They're supposed
we've
to be
had a
the
couple of
best of
weeks without one.
humanity.
No, nothing happened.
No.
But we had a couple of weeks that the Pope, people like riding the street.
No, it was. There was anarchy everywhere.
Was there?
You see the stock market? Full on.
Yeah. I
There's
believe
so much
that.
uncertainty.
That was a lack of Pope that was
They're
causing
just in the
that.
stocks that you choose. It's always full on.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.